Hello again. Day 8 of our Miyazaki trip. It's our last full day of the trip. We woke up around 9. We had toast and corn soup for breakfast. Iko was outside cutting oranges and putting them on trees and hedges in her garden. And it turns out, we found this out that she does this 2 to 3 times a week, and to just attract the birds. And they said at the most birds they've seen out front was 50 birds at one time. A ton of birds. The most common bird it's called a white eye, and it's a green bird with white circles around its eyes. So I went out with my telephoto lens and took some photos of the birds. I tried to not move. They're pretty scared of people. So that was fun. We had a nice morning. But from there, our first stop on our day's adventure was to Aya Suspension Bridge. Aya is spelled A-Y-A. And it crosses a valley. It's huge. It's a big metal suspension bridge. It's 750 feet long and 426 feet high. I was a little nervous walking out on it the first time because the floor is a great floor, so you can see through it. So naturally, Krista and I went out on it and did our headstands, and Krista did a bridge on a bridge. And Terafumi was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you guys are doing this. Crazy." But that was fun. And then on the other side of the suspension bridge, it said there was a shrine that was about 200 meters up the hill. So we decided to go see the shrine to see if there was a view. But when we got up there, it was a little anticlimactic because there was no view. But the shrine was kind of cool, a small little shrine, and it was dedicated to that mountain. So it was fun. On the way back, walking across the bridge, we walked walking towards the car, and again there were some concession stands. And the first one, it was kind of funny. This guy was like, "Hey, how do you scratch your ears?" And we're like, "How do you scratch your ears?" "Yes, how do you scratch inside your ears?" And I was like, "I don't, because it's super dangerous. You can hurt your eardrum." And I've actually hurt my eardrum scratching my ear. And he was like, "Well, if you scratch your ear," he had this like wooden thing that he was making and selling that for you to scratch inside your ear when you get it, when your ear itches. It was just funny. And then we stopped by a stand that some guy was asking us where we were from, and we talked to him a little bit. And I bought some hot spice stuff that was made from spices and Huguenotsu spice or dried stuff. It was really good, which was hot as well, which is amazing for Japan. From there, we got in the car and we drove to this small castle called Aya International Craft Castle. At one time, there was a castle there, but this is a rebuilt castle. And there was a museum inside, and we were the only ones there. And that was the crazy thing. It was a castle, not a huge castle, but it's a 4-story castle, and we were the only ones inside. And so, in all the buildings, you had to take your shoes off and wear the slippers, and they were one size fits all, but it's one size fits all Japanese feet. So my feet, it was like wearing shoes on the first half of my foot. So that was exciting. But 2 of the other buildings had a pottery and a loom making clothes classes. So there was people making pottery and making clothes, which was kind of cool. It was actually really cool. From there, we went down to lunch. It was in the rice fields at this cafe called like something Farm Cafe. And we had great lunch. And we were 5 minutes late for like the lunch deal. But the people at the lunch place recognized Terafumi and was like, "Oh, we'll make an exception for you." And the food was great. So it was really fun to have lunch with them. After that, Terafumi said, "Hey, are you guys up for something else? I have another idea. If you're tired, we can go home." And we're like, "Hey, we're up for anything." So he took us to like a big flower convention center. And it's a little bit north of the city of Miyazaki. And it's out by this giant hotel that's by itself. 40-story hotel that has nothing around it except that. So it's kind of an eyesore. But it was just a flower convention center that was awesome. I mean, immaculate grounds, just perfect. And there was a bunch of flowers, and we just looked at flowers until the sunset, and then drove back to the house and got cleaned up. And Terafumi had heard us saying that our favorite food so far in Japan is karage, and so he made karage for us, and it was amazing. And he made a ton of it, and that's unusual because usually when you go buy karage, you get like 3 pieces. He had made 2 bags of it, and he was like, eat as much as you want. I can make it anytime I want. So it was just an awesome dinner. So it was a good way to wrap up our trip. So yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.